Okay, I'm out here again, and today's project is I'm gonna take that square tube I got down here and we need to, this here is the, let me grab a light here. So this is that air cowl, the air dam vent. The cowl out there shoves cold air in. This used to go into the heater box, but now the heater box went down so far and the new tunnel and the floor came up, I couldn't use the factory heater box at all. So what we're going to do is I gotta weld this hole shut, then I'm going to come in here and cut into that air dam and build a vent box over here, like the old cars were. That way, if it's hot out, you'll be able to open the door and air some air will come in, and it'll be better than no air. So that's what we're going to do now. We need to get an air dam in here. We need to get this welded, and then we need to start working on putting the we won't get to that today, but putting the radio parts up under the dash. And once we get to there, I can actually put the dash ends. But the plan today is just to get the air box done on both sides, so an air vent. All right, we'll see how far we get. All right, so I cut this template here to give me the angle of the dash, so I can know how the snorkel is going to go in, come down for the air dam. So I got that laid out, and I'm going to cut it out and get that up inside the dash. Now that I got it all laid out, I'm going to fire up the bandsaw and cut it and go in there, and hopefully it all fits right. It should. So we'll start by cutting this out and then going in and building the the vent box. Alright, so I ground everything to weld it, and then I cut the inside edge of that snorkel out. There's no reason to put it. There's no welding that's going to happen inside there, so I got it to where it fits up real nice now. So now I can mark it out and get that hole cut out for it, and then I can start working on the vent door down here on the bottom. I'll weld a cap on the bottom here, and then I'll cut a door into that snorkel. All right, so I got it marked. Now water runs, out here and then down. So I really don't want to cut into this all the way down to that area. I'm gonna let the water flow. So I'm gonna come up, a little ways, and I'm gonna cut a hole in here. I'm going to drill all four corners because this is a structural part. If I drill the corner, then it won't crack out into the cab. I'm going to drill all four corners of that, and then I'm going to cut it out. So I drilled it with the hole saw. Now I'm going to come in here with the grinder and cut out that hole for the air to come through the air vent, and then some air into the cab. Okay, so I got my air hole cut out there. Maybe take a hand file to it here in a second. But I can make the cap and the door, and then weld the snorkel in, and I'll have one side done. Alright, I got the driver's side all cleaned up and the hole made, and I got that piece fitted. And then I made all the parts for the door. This will be these always end up being kicked, so there's really no reason to put a nice pretty handle on there. So we'll weld that up so it can be kicked back and forth. And then these two pieces will be welded on. And this piece, because the door won't be able to go out the back, so we'll just have two screws in this piece, so this piece can come off and the door can come out. I got the door laid out. That's what I'm going to do next. I'm going to punch this door out And so what will happen is this thing will be able to slide almost that far open. So you know, we'll have some air coming in through that hole. And also got the bottom cap plates made, everything cleaned up. So I'm ready. I'm ready to punch these holes, and then I can actually first weld the end plates, and then you know, weld these pieces. I made these they're cut out of angle, so it was 1.5 by 1.5 angle, and I made it a special size to go on there so that door can go in and out. And so door can slide in there, and it should work pretty good. Yep. So that's the next thing, is to punch these holes out. Then now, at least if you're, you know, and it's 90 to 100 degrees out, which is, you know, this truck's not going to be driven. And that's mainly when it's going to be driven is in the winter, in the summertime, not in the winter. You know, maybe the fall, but maybe spring. You know, 50, 60 degrees. But when it gets 80, 90, 100, until I can get a, you know, an air conditioner in the truck, at least we'll be able to get some air to come in. Alright, I'm going to get these holes punched. Alright, I got one of the doors cut out with the Bridgeport. Now I'll do the other one. Alright, first I drill all the corners out, and then I'm going to come in with the end mill and but I'll have to go back and forth, and I'll cut this box out like the other. So you can see me just milling the so I'm just going to take those passes until I get through, and then basically follow it all the way around like that. This particular piece isn't a super, you know, precise machine part, so I'm far enough down now I could just go through it. And then I'm going to go this way and then that way. You get the idea. So I'm going to go ahead and finish this. Alright, so I'm cutting this way now. Just taking 20 thousandths at a time. Cranking. Pretty easy. Alright, I'm going to run my glorified drill press here. And get this box cut out. Alright, I'm running the last pass this direction. You know, I did 4 or 5 passes back and forth till I got down to here. And then we'll go the last pass there and just cranking the old lever. So, alright. So, we got her cut out now. Got us a nice pretty little hole made. So alright, so now we can go over there and start actually finish fitting parts on this, and then weld it all together and do a little grinding. Alright, I got all the pieces ground and ready to go together. and get welded. Everything's made. I'm gonna add this piece on the back so the door can't come, flop when it gets all the way open. So we'll have that in there to be over the halfway point. And when the door, will go to there, but it'll have that piece. So it's all ready to be welded now, and then ground. So I got the removable front cover one bolted on both of them. So, and I double plated these when I drilled the tap, and when I'm going to weld these, they're going to be double plated. And what that allowed me to do is to put a piece of edge trim on these, so it'll actually have steel on it everywhere but the back side. Okay, it's like 2 or 3 in the morning now, so I'm probably going to call it and weld all this stuff up tomorrow. Well, there's all the pieces all mocked up, ready to weld. So when I get off work tomorrow, I'll be able to come out here and do these little weldments and then stick them up in that truck. And we'll have some manual air door vents so we can at least have some cool air come in. Okay, I got the 2 vent boxes welded up here. So the air will come in through there and come down. And same thing is over here. They'll actually hit the firewall. That's why this edge needs to come out. In case I decide to change the door later. But be able to kick it forward back with your feet or whatever and have some air come in on the floorboard here. I got the front plate that unbolts. It's caps off on the bottom. So, and then there'll be, I can put edge trim on here or whatever later. So, anyway, that's done. I think it might be a good idea. I think I needed to put it in before the dash, so. Alright, now I'm ready to go weld them in inside. Alright, I got the driver's side here welded in. And it'll get siliconed or something, but now you'll be able to have air come in. There's enough room for you to put your foot in between the brake pedal and that. And if you need air, you can let some air come in if it's 100 degrees outside. So, I got one of them done. Go ahead and do the other one. Alright, I got the passenger side one welded in. So, get air in this way. I need to weld that one that used to come in through the, the factory heater box. That heater box came all the way down to here. So, I'm not using the heater box. So, but now I got a way to kick that open. And kick it open, get air, and pull it shut with your foot. And if it's like 100 degrees out, this thing will be very lovely to have. And this front panel comes off, so I can modify this door. The big thing is I got the snorkel in right now, and then I can weld this patch up so it'll actually work. And I just like the way the original truck was done. And just come in here and silicone or caulk all the way around it, and then seal it up later. But anyway, that's a big deal. Now I can weld that patch shut, and then I can make my mounts for my capacitor and my amplifier. Once I get that done, that's the last thing that has to go in behind this dash, and then I can set that 55 Chevy dash in here and start scabbing to the door panels and putting it in and fixing it up where it's all rotted out. So yeah, that was a pretty big deal. I need that. Got plenty of foot room still. You'll be able to kick that open and have some air come into the cab with it being 100, 110 degrees outside, or 90 even. Then you just take the foot and shut it again. Alright, I might make that and cover it up tonight. I got myself a piece of cardboard here to make a template out of to cover that hole. I'm going to transfer this into steel. I'm going to come back and weld it on and grind it. Alright, I got the piece made and tacked in there, and we'll butcher some welds to it. It's all thin sheet metal, so sometimes you chase holes. Alright, it's all welded. And so air can't come out where that is anymore, and we'll call it for the night. It took a couple days to do this, and nobody will care unless they're riding in here and it's hot. And I'll be able to reach down there and kick that thing open, pull back with their foot if it's too cold, but if it's, kick that thing open, and now you got some air coming in. Alright, hope you guys like this stuff. Alright, you have a nice day. Bye.